I swear to God, half the plane just got off the boot camp. You should feel the render. Oh, hello, Dorothy. Meat's back on the menu, boys. Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka. Thanks so much for joining me today on channel. Now, I wanted to talk about the Mk47 Mutant before I started doing any other videos on this patch, because this is something I've not seen talked about anywhere else from any of the other mobile guys, and it's the secret of the gun. I'm going to break that down for you in a second. And if you want to get the most out of this weapon and you don't want to get beat by people who know what to do with the gun, then you need to watch this video, and you particularly need to watch this next section here, because this is a lovely gun that does shred, that does do great things to bad people, and will work across a wide variety of engagement styles. But if you don't know the next little bit that I'm about to tell you, then you're going to suck with the gun, and deservedly so. Now, the absolutely insane thing about this gun is that if you try and fire it as fast as you possibly can, it will in fact slow down the rate of fire and make the gun ineffective. The reason for this is that there's a failsafe. You can only fire the gun every 10th of a second or thereabouts. And what that means is if you are hammering the button, you are not going to time it really well, and you're going to hit it just before and just after the 0.1, like this. You're going to tap, 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 just before the 0.1, tap again at 0.15, and that means you're actually already 0.05 slower on the first button press. And that means you can't fire it for another 0.1 of a second after that, which means the next time you can press the button is at 0.25, and you're like already a 10th of a second behind. Now, I think this is also why it didn't get out of the beta for patch 0.10. I did a review on it when it was meant to be coming out there, and then it just disappeared. It never made it to the live patch. And we didn't get it to this one, and I think that's because they actually changed it up so that it had this maximum rate of fire on it. Because this is footage from the patch in a second. There, just here. I'm tapping that fire button as fast as possible, and this is footage from now where I'm tapping the fire button as fast as possible. In the beta, 2.46 seconds. Now tapping it as fast as possible, 4.06 seconds. That's a massive, like 1.5 second difference in the rate of fire for 30 rounds in a clip, which is enormous. It's just a massive difference. And I like that because it actually makes the gun a gun that is very much based on the skill of the user, not so much based on just holding a button down like a Groza or an M762 barrel. And for that reason, I love it. And it has to be said, if you can drive the M16A4, and I'm a massive M16A4 fan, then yeah, you're going to love this gun. You're just going to adore it. If you're a claw player like me, being able to tap fire while strafing and moving around very effectively, then the gun is going to really do you favors. If you are not a claw player, then it is going to minimize the effective range of motion, so to speak, for the gun. For me, I can get this gun to do things at all ranges, close quarters, mid, and it's kind of a very nice 7.62 pseudo DMR, replacing, you know, some people like firing an AK at long ranges. Where it really seems to go well is if you can not override that fire button, press it every 10th of a second, and get to mid-range, you will obliterate people. You can fire it and have the same kind of effective killing time as a barrel M762. I mean, look at that. Just look at that thing go. And yet, it's so much more, like, it's so easy to control versus a barrel M762. It rewards you so much more easily if you can tap fire this thing than it does holding down a barrel. I mean, if you can fire on the move, then, you know, you are going to make hay with this baby. If you can't, then you can use it in a very much a DMR role, and also as a close quarters combat weapon if you're just like guarding a door in a static position. But I love the gun itself, and I was really stoked to find that there was kind of a catch-22 with the weapon where you tried to pump that trigger as quickly as possible and you got punished for it. I did find that if I didn't take it off burst, it was pretty crap at range. A lot like the M16, it doesn't have that burst at range ability anymore. Like the M16 had that when it first came out. The first two shells would kind of hit right where you put them. You can see one shell hitting this guy, but never two. It gets bracketed pretty weird. It is amazing, obviously, at you know, at that mid-range. Fires a 45 base damage to a chest, no vest wearing chest area round, the 7.62 round, not the 47 that you get out of an AKM or a Groza or a DP28. It's the same round as a Mini 14 basically in terms of damage, but it doesn't quite have that kind of shell velocity. Fair enough. It's a great weapon. It is very, very good, and it sounds amazing. The gun sounds on the Mk47 Mutant are the best in the game, in my opinion. If I was going to run anything with it, I would run a Compensator and a light grip, or, you know, an angle grip as well. I found worked really, really well. But the Compensator is the must-have. If you're going to run it without a Compensator, you're really missing out on one of the big reasons why it has those attachment slots. Getting a Compensator on a 7.62 gun, as well as a lower rail attachment, is pretty epic. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Bushka. Really appreciate the support for the channel. Make sure you spread the video around because this one is a really tricky weapon. And if you want all the numbers, I've got a spreadsheet on my Discord server. The Discord server link is in the description below. And you can go there, get that spreadsheet, and get notifications and take part in things. And it's all really cool, and find groups and become part of a big community. We've got nearly 3,500, 4,000 people on there now. So rip and tear, get in there, and until next time, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.